YouTube, what's happening?
Let's get this show on the road.
Let's get Instagram up.
Boom. And we're live.
Dog Behavior Q&A 117. Jeremy Majors Academy Dog Training, based out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Area code 54313. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You know why we're here. We are only here to try and help. We try and make it as easy as possible
For people to train.
and get help with their dogs. Now,
That being said, I do have to have
people who are committed to our
our program. We have to work as a team. So it's not for everyone.
because everyone doesn't
Come with the same level.
of commitment. So
Our training isn't for everyone.
everyone, but those who are willing and are committed, this training is for you.
All right. So you guys know the
The deal,
For those of you who
don't know the deal, and who are new, you ask questions, and we answer them, or I answer them as best as possible.
possible, and
We'll see if you can get you on a
better path, or maybe
maybe just try something different. Because if one thing doesn't work, we have to try another.
all right. So you guys who are watching live,
Feel free to ask your questions. We will answer yours in the order that we receive them, but you guys will have the priority. All right?
all right, let's do it. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day. Okay, here we go. What is your best tips?
Sorry, this question is for Bente. What is your best tips for resource guarding,
Toys, objects,
etc.? Not people. It happens less and less. Sometimes it goes many days or weeks between the incident. Then it happens again. I punish her. She is 14 months old, Chihuahua, my daughter's dog. It just
happened with my 4-year-old Labrador.
Labrador. Never the people in the house. I just want to resolve it because my Labrador is too soft and nice to put her foot down. I wonder if I can send you a 20-second video who show a problem for you for your next broadcast. It's easier for you than if I should analyze a situation I can't resolve. All right, Bente. When it comes to resource aggression, you will have to give your Chihuahua something it would like to avoid more than its desire to continue the behavior.
So if that behavior
Continues, then your consequence isn't good enough or consistent enough. So consistency works, or the level at which your consequence affects the dog. That's going to be
the winning formula.
all right. So try different ways to go about giving her something that she would like to avoid, and Chihuahuas they're definitely sassy dogs.
So I don't know.
try that. But definitely feel free to send me a video. That would be awesome. I can give you a much more, definitive answer. And yeah, that'd be awesome. You can send that. Okay, Danny asks, what is the best way to deal with dogs who can bark excessively at home, like at cars, sounds, outside, etc.? So, all right, Danny, what you want to do is
Give that dog some more structure
inside the house. Okay, the dog just needs more guidance and leadership from you, so that it learns to cope with the things that triggers the dog.
And so what we do is teach
The dog go to your bed, the go to your bed command, and in doing that, the dog then has to listen to you as opposed to listening to itself, and the dog will get over whatever again is triggering that behavior. So if the dog has to be occupied by your guidance and your leadership, then it doesn't have the option to full-fledged indulge into whatever is triggering the dog. And so you must get that place command to become non-negotiable. An easier way to do so, an easier way to get that, is to practice that without the stimuli that usually gets the dog to that barking level. And so lower level triggers might be what the dog does when you enter the house. When you enter the house, the dog should go lay down and not be greeted by you. All right, and so that's just an example of something that you can practice to get the dog to really respond to you when it really matters. And then let's just say you guys are all chilling after a walk and the dog is laying around. Well, there's your chance, the really good chance actually, to practice that place command or go to your bed, because the dog's already tired and the dog's already wanting to lay down. It'll just lay down on its bed. So that's what I would do. Practice that place command. Give the dog some more structure inside the house, and the dog will get over anything that again isn't necessary to provoke that behavior. Excuse me. All right, hope that helps. Feel free to ask another question.
Okay, let's make sure. I don't have any more questions live. Oh, okay, got a question.
One of my residents, this question is for Jen.
One of my resident dogs.
Dogs will growl. Hello, how are you? You're welcome.
One of my resident dogs will growl or bark
Out the window. And then put himself in a timeout on place. I'd like to get him to the point where he doesn't bark out the window. Well, I would say that's pretty good.
if he kind of knows
that he messed up and knows what you're gonna do, anticipates that you're gonna do it, and he does it anyway. I think you just then now need some time to just allow the dog to figure it out, because it's already got the
it's already got the practical
side of it. The dog goes to place when you are getting ready to put it in place. So I would just keep at also, doing that. You could continue to tell him to place even though, he's in that place, or he's barking and on his way to place. And then when he's in place, you
can take the next step. And the next step
would be to get the dog to lay down or
put its head down
completely. And so when you're on that place, and when the dog's on the place command and just laying there with his head up, say down until he goes down. And you don't have to teach them that, they'll already do that. So they're laying down, their head is up, you say down, they go like this. They'll rest that head on the bed like that. That's what you want. So that's the next step into the next level of relaxation. All right, so that's what I would try. Give that a shot and see how it works.
for your question. Feel free to ask another one. Okay. Head down.
Yes, good call. He's been laying with head up. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Question for Becky. My German Shepherd recently decided to go after other dogs. She will approach them as if she is their long lost best friend. But once she makes contact, she loses it and will pick a fight. She will also stalk other dogs as if she's waiting for the perfect time to go after the other dog once it moves.
Well, all right. So when it comes to fighting,
Dogs are making a choice.
and you can help them make another choice, but they have to know that if they make the wrong choice, that is actually the wrong choice.
And so
The easiest way to get that
is to have your dog
really be on
your on cue with your voice. And you may have to be a little tougher on your dog in that regard, or stay close when your dog is socializing. When your dog is socializing and you're close, then you can actually get the dog to respond to you some way, somehow. Check out the dressage. Check out a dressage whip would be wonderful, or an electric collar would also be wonderful, because you can reach your dog and teach your dog with those two tools.
and you don't necessarily have to be so close. But again, you have to give your dog something
It would like to avoid in order for the dog to open up, to become vulnerable, and see that dogs do not need to be attacked. Because if the dog is attacking because it feels like it has to, or if the dog is attacking because it feels like it wants to,
those are kind of
two different approaches on, in general, a little bit, on how you should go about socializing the dog. If it's coming because of fear, then
the dog may need just more space and time, which we can all agree that's necessary. Or if it is
coming from a place of brattiness, then
you can correct
the dog. You can give the dog a consequence and expect better behavior out of the dog.
all right. Her recall used to be drop.
On the dime, perfect, like sliding stop recall. Once in this mode, she ignores me. Yeah, so you gotta definitely address that. Do not let the dog ever ignore you. If the dog ignores you, then you have to go over there and be present. You have to be present, like you're going over there and you're going to grab her by the collar and put her in a sit very sternly and let her know that this is not okay.
Your behavior.
It's not okay. Dogs don't need to be attacked. And so,
Again, with the tools that I recommended.
and along with you being there and being present, that's how you get dogs to get along. All right?
So let her know that she can't do
Do
that.
that anymore.
What is that? Oh, cool. I have a 5-month-old lab mix rescue.
That loves to counter surf. Okay, so if you have that dog that young, one boundary that you want to teach the dog is not to go in the kitchen at all. Actually, that's a really good boundary for all dogs if they're having any problem, especially counter surfing. But you do have to give the dog something it would like to avoid as well when it comes to counter surfing. And so when it does it, you have to correct the dog some way, somehow. The easiest way would be like a pet convincer. That'd be like the least adversive.
Or the doggy don't.
Is a good tool. You should check that out. Just Google those, doggy don't or pet convincer. Very good tools. Also, those tools are very good for off-leash dogs coming towards your dog, especially if your dog is fearful. You very much so have to protect the dog that you have on leash. And so the doggy don't. and the pet convincer are very good tools for that. But they will solve counter surfing, resource guarding, barking, fighting even sometimes, and jumping.
So check that out. You may be giving that
5-month-old lab maybe just a little bit too much freedom as well. Monitor that. Allow the dog to work for all of that freedom. Like I said, dogs in.
If I was had a 5-month-old, it would not be able to roam the house that much. Okie doke. Thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another. Well, that's kind of cool. This Instagram thing pops up,
So I think everyone can see the question.
it's kind of cool. Thank you. Feel free to ask another question. Okay. Next question. Okay, I think I got them all live. All right. Question is for Kier. Our 9-month, our 9, almost 10-month old Daniff has started to act goofy around small children. Okay. She does this weird growl, bark, and hopping thing. She's fine with our kids and my nieces and nephews when they are at our house. It's just when she sees smaller kids,
She doesn't know. It's just started and definitely not a behavior I want to continue.
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta plug my phone in before it dies. There we go. All right, so check it out.
Okay, so your dog gets along with children. That's good. But doesn't get along with children it doesn't know. If you have that situation, you must take control of that dog to eradicate any possibility. What your dog is doing is handling their insecurities their way, and it is their way to manipulate the situation how they see they need to. So you have to take control. Whenever there is a child around, you must have the dog on leash and or have some sort of corrective tool handy. You must be able to reach your dog around kids. That is going to be the way to get your dog to like all kids. All right, so again, this weird growl and bark thing needs to be stopped by your leadership. Tell the dog no, and really allow the dog to feel that. You know what I mean? So reach the dog in those moments, and then the dog will be open to accepting the things that it's insecure. Because again, if you have a dog who wants to handle things their way, and it's a negative way, that just tells you that you have to do it for them, so that they don't feel the need to do it their way. All right. So reach that dog. Okay. Be as tough as necessary.
Thanks for your question. All right, guys, those of you who've just joined,
This is Dog Behavior Q&A. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we want to try and start a conversation. So you guys are open to asking any questions that you like, as many questions as you like. You will not bother me. If you have multiple questions, feel free to get some answers. At least try some of the things that I will recommend because it may help.
I do this every day, all day,
I've been doing this
since 2006. And yeah, I got pretty good at it. Next question. All right, my dog has become
very jealous when I pet other dogs. He does a low growl and interferes, causing them to leave. He's very wimpy and skittish dog. He's also started doing it when people come near me.
While I love that he loves me.
I definitely don't want this habit to continue. Great question. Okay, Grace. This question is for Grace. What you have to do when you are alone with this dog is start to push the dog away from you. Do not allow the dog to demand affection when it wants it. Okay, because if the dog is allowed to demand affection when it wants it, then it is allowed to become jealous. But if you have the ability to say no to the dog and say, go lay down, and you actually are annoyed, that's fine. Then you start creating a more confident dog. How about that? Okay, so for all you people
Who email me and say,
my dog needs confidence building. Okay, here's what you do.
you don't pet the dog
Every time it comes to you, you don't allow the dog to follow you around the house. You are indirectly feeding into its
codependency and insecurity. Okay? So, allow the dog to
be
be
away from you.
and become calm. And then go pet the dog. But don't let the dog come,
Come to you every time, and then you pet the dog.
especially if you have a skittish
Skittish dog, a wimpy dog, an insecure dog. You're just going to build up those same attributes.
So very important. Push the dog away.
People,
It's okay. What's up, man? It's okay to get annoyed with your dogs.
it's fine. They're not going to like you any less. Tell the dog to go lay down. Go on. Move. I'm done with you. I'm annoyed with you. Go ahead. It's fine. Get annoyed with them. The best way to optimize a dog relationship with you is to be your true self. So the moment you get annoyed, it's fine. Okay? You don't have to be outside of yourself in order to try and make the relationship better. Because that's all predicated on false pretenses. You want to be yourself and then allow the dog to love who you are. All right, so for example, my dog Tobias, he's an affection fiend. He will try and try and try to come up to me. I don't want him to come up to me all the time because he is, again, an affectionate whore, but he's also very insecure. And so, but that's not even why I'm feeding into it, or that's not even why I'm pushing him away. I'm pushing him away because it's annoying that he comes over all the time. But when I do that, it's a boundary as well. It's a healthy boundary. Move, go away. I don't want your affection right now. And then when I'm ready, then I go give affection. Or when they're calm, I go give affection. All right, so that's when you are promoting good, calm behavior as opposed to that insecure behavior when they come towards you.
Do not reinforce needy behavior. All right, thanks for your question. Okay, Hugh, lately
We have been taking Sammy for a walk. I have his prong collar on, but I dropped the leash completely and let him walk beside me. He does great and stays by my side. On the walks without a prong collar, he is all over the place. I need to keep him on a short leash, and he pulls me. How long do you recommend using the prong collar for? Will he always need this tool?
I would recommend the prong collar until he's 5 years old. That's it. 5. Or until he stops pulling without
A prong collar. But until then,
Sorry, Sammy.
it's the prong collar. Just use it consistently enough and it will take some time. He's a young dog. He's a driven dog. And so
That's okay. It will take a while, but that's
okay. Don't worry about it.
I like
The fact that he can stay by your side. That is the point of a leash and the prong collar. So
it could be a long time, but that's okay. You can give him both on leash.
and off leash time. But don't give him leash time, on leash time, when there's tension on that leash. No tension.
All right. Thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another. I was just thinking about Sammy the other day. Okay. Make sure I don't have any questions here. And here. Okay.
So how did it feel
To get your first
100 subscribers, then 1,000. It felt pretty good to get
1,000 subscribers, I guess. Yeah, I've been putting out videos for a while.
Takes a little bit of time.
And so, yeah. All right, it is okay to get
Annoyed with your dog. However, getting mad and striking your dog in any way ruins some of the trust. Yes and no. I'm not promoting striking your dog or anything like that. But to say that that's not effective is not being truthful. I mean, there are dog trainers who promote using a bonker. Look it up. And that is actually making contact, physical contact with your dog. But that's not necessarily true because,
you know, what is making physical contact with your dog? It's
a way of communicating. Of course, you don't want to do it to where the dog
becomes afraid of you and all that, this and that, but you can't tell me that my grandmother that used to hit the dog with the newspaper didn't have a great relationship with the boxer
that she had. She had a great relationship with the dog, and you can't just cross certain lines, right? The dog needs to be clear on what you want, but you also have to be genuine in your intentions. And so, if you are being a jerk, then you will get a dog who is timid, fearful, and will bite. And if you're being too soft, then you will also get a dog who is a bratty, rambunctious biter.
So, those are my thoughts. I do not believe prong collars
Are needed. I've worked with some very stubborn dogs, and I've never had the need for a prong collar. My Ruby is very,
my own Ruby is very
headstrong. Well,
then I would say to you, you should put out some more videos
on how to work with stubborn dogs and aggressive dogs without prong collars.
That would be good for society. Hell, you may even be teaching me something. All right, next question. This question is for Angela. Tips to introduce my 4-year-old Bursaron to my 4-year-old
Aussie mix. The mix has been at my current house for a couple of months, and it will be Arlo the Brewercon's first time home. Long walk, off-leash walk. You guys all walking together. Put the e-collar on Arlo just in case, or if you think whoever's had the potential to be aggressive or non-responsive, then you want to be able to reach them. You know what I'm saying? And so I would take them on a pack walk together. Keep walking your entire time, but look over your shoulder. Or if they do get out in front of you, you turn around, you recall, and that would be the best bet. You can also get your Bursaron to, again, maybe give the dog a little bit of space at first. And then in the home, I would probably crate the dog the Aussie mix, and maybe give Arlo something to do as well. You know, maybe so that they can see that both of them are controlled and that you are in control of both of them in the house. And so that will ensure a smooth transition. So you just gotta, feel it out too. If they get along, on the pack walk really well, then you can kind of gauge how long you have to give them both structure in the house. Know what I'm saying?
All right, Angela, thanks for your question. Keep me updated. Okay, when I first got my Ruby, she even had a warning on her paperwork to have 2 people handle her. She was that wild and crazy, and not once have I ever needed a prong collar. Well, like I said,
That's good. Good for you. Please, educate the masses. there are tons of people and trainers that use the prong collar. The prong collar is a great tool. I don't know why you're saying that as if it's a bad tool. It's actually a great tool. It gives people the ability to walk their dog in a short amount of time, and it teaches their dog how to behave off leash very well and
with enough time. So the prong collar, if used correctly,
is the best tool to get the dog to not pull. So what tool
do you use?
if you don't mind me asking, what tool did you use to get your dog to walk beside you loose leash?
All right. I've seen too many dogs get injured
On it, and actually I use a harness. All right, I don't believe you. I don't believe you actually use a harness on your dog
in order to get the dog
to heal perfectly with you. But if you do, send a video, because I don't believe you. I don't care if you've seen too many people use it the wrong way. If there is a good way, then you should be teaching people to use it the right way. You know, that's the excuse of every trainer, or every positive only trainer. Oh, I've seen too many people use it and hurt dogs and this and that. Okay, well, it's the same thing with guns too. We have to educate people on how to use them correctly so that they can use them correctly.
All right, so
I have tons of videos on prong collars. Actually, I've just updated a video
on prong collars and
how to use them and how to fit them.
and they don't really hurt dogs that much either.
I don't believe you on that regard as well. I don't believe that you know many instances where prong collars have hurt dogs, because it's not that true, and it's not that easy to actually hurt a dog with a prong collar. You'd have to be really using it very abusively to actually do damage. So, but feel free to rebuttal. I've got a trainer on YouTube
who seems to think that they can get results as I get,
with a harness.
but I don't believe you.
And please excuse my skepticism, because every now and then one of you trainers will come on my live and say something like that, and but have no video to back it up. And I'm all about being educated.
Please share if you have
If you have a way of not using prong collars, then it is your responsibility to educate on how not to use the prong collar, or how to use a harness and get the same results that I get. But I bet you can't do both of those things. So don't waste your time, and don't waste mine, or provide a video, and I will gladly humble myself to you if you can provide a video that actually gets the dog to not pull with a harness. But you can't just use your one dog as an example either. I want to see a dog that you don't know, a dog that actually has some drive, and then we'll see what you can get.
We used an easy leader.
Works most of the time. Okay. And even when properly used, accidents still happen with the prong collar. Like what? What accidents?
And did I say, I did say, I
Did do a video recently how to teach your dog not to pull on a walk. Sure, I teach more dogs. I will be posting even more. All right, so if you're a new trainer
to this whole thing, let me just educate you. You don't go on other trainers' channels
and try to be condescending. It's not going to work with me.
But yeah, I'll be checking out your videos for sure. Do you mind if I share them?
Because I will share them. But like I said, let's see some before and after videos too. Let's see the dogs that come to you that clearly pull. Let's get that on video. And then let's see a video of the dog walking with a harness by your side, loose leash. If you can provide that, then I will pay you for you to be my mentor. I'll pay you.
I'll go wherever you are, and I'll try and learn from you, because
You are the first trainer that will have the ability to do that, and the only trainer that I've ever come across that has the ability to do that. So again, if your tools only work for your dog, you cannot say some tools work and some tools don't. Can't say it. I'm not saying, in my own opinion, I'm not saying prong collars are the only answer, but I'm definitely saying harnesses aren't the answer. Harnesses are for pulling.
and there's no way you can
Reach a high drive dog who has been through a shelter, who has come from a rescue, or it doesn't even have to come to a rescue or a shelter, just a high drive dog. A dog who is easily stimulated by prey, because we're dealing with predator animals.
So there's that. All right, next question.
Now, if I come check out those videos, they better be before and after. Let's get those. I'm telling you, you'd make a fortune if you can actually do what you said you can do, right? You actually do what you claim that you can do. Then again, you would be the biggest dog trainer, one of the biggest dog trainers in the United States.
Because the top dog,
Trainers in the United States.
they use prong collars. They use e-collars.
Do not use harnesses.
Okay.
Could you give some suggestions on how to handle possession aggression in young dogs?
Yeah, the dog is going to have
To respect that you want it just like a dog would handle it with another dog. If one dog, if say you have two dogs and one dog is the clear, one in control, you can call it alpha, whatever you want. That's how you have to handle it. You have to be able to get the dog to use its brain and say,
okay, I have to back off.
because
I cannot get what I want in this
situation. So same thing. All right, you have to get the dog some respect. Get the dog to be able to respect you and be able to back away from you when you want it. So if the dog bites in some way, you'll have to bite back.
You have to give the dog something.
It would like to avoid if it does something wrong.
All right. Give me more detail and I can give you a better answer. But thanks for your question anyway. Okay, guys. So far, I do agree with most of your white stuff. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching anyway.
Thanks for tuning in. Listen,
When a dog has food aggression,
aggression problem, that is a very candidate for the leave it command.
listen, once again, I want to make this clear too. I don't really like conflict, but I am so open to learning that I will listen to someone, another trainer,
And their advice or even their criticism.
of my training. Because it seems to me
that
there are trainers who have little experience and want to have a voice, or they think they know it all.
And then there's trainers who have plenty of experience and they still think they know it all. But but in both cases, they don't.
I think when you get
To be in dog training and not know what it is,
I haven't really figured that out. But dog trainers are become very closed off as time goes on.
and that way you can have again, dog trainer that has 20 years experience, and then you see them train, or you listen to them, and their
Advice is very young. And so I'll just give you
an
an
example. I was talking on the phone with another trainer from I don't know, Wyoming, and she prefaced the conversation with, "I have 20 years experience."
working with dogs. Okay. So does that tell me that I'm supposed
Supposed to, what am I supposed to do with that? Because it doesn't really mean much to me at this point. All right. Anyway,
come to find out, 20 years experience out of Wyoming, the dog trainer got bit for reaching down and trying to grab
a collar of a human aggressive.
bull terrier. 20 years experience should have taught you not to do that.
I mean, that's just. I don't have 20 years experience, and I definitely don't do that.
So that's what I'm saying, guys.
You'll have trainers who will
Do little things that are like, wait a minute. But people
try
try
and say they have 20 years experience, meaning they lived with their dogs growing up. That's what that means.
anyway. Enough of my little rant.
But again,
Again, guys, I'm so open. I really am open to learning new techniques. I want to be as gentle as possible with these dogs. Of course I do.
I always want to figure out more gentle ways. That's why I'm very patient with my dogs, because that is a good way. It's not the best way, but it is a really good way. And I don't think people know what I mean when I'm talking about patience. And if you train with me, or if you really look at my YouTube videos, you'll see it. But I really, really wait for a long time. Along with, though, with
Correcting certain behaviors.
I do think that some dogs are so full of themselves that they do need a very strong correction so that they can become humble, and it actually helps them learn.
But, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Next question. Come from
Elizabeth, a German Shepherd, does the best meeting new people
off leash and letting people ignore him.
at first.
Okay. That makes me nervous having
Having him off leash, even though I know he listens best that way. Any suggestions on doing this?
It makes me nervous having him
Off leash, even though I know he listens best that way. Any suggestion on doing this? Also, any suggestions on meeting kids as they don't understand how to ignore him like adults do? We rescued him and he's getting better, but we want to keep socializing him as well. All right, so take your time socializing. If you have a new dog, or if you have any dog, it is not important that the dog meet every single child it comes across and every single person it comes across. Not even your guest. You can put the dog away. That's actually doing something. It's not doing the most, but it's doing something when it comes to giving your dog the ability to get away from that situation that they may seem nervous. And so I would go ahead and continue to make people and kids ignore them. If you can't get the kids to listen, then you need to put the dog away. Period. Do not risk a dog that doesn't listen around kids. so that accidents don't happen.
All right, but take your time. Make sure, people who are compliant with your rules and are dog people or whatever that are around your dog.
Otherwise, just say, no, we're
Trying to work him in, he's a little shy, and I don't want him out right now.
it's not good for him. Take your time.
All right, but have him drag a leash
As well around the house, so that you can easily grab him and control him. You need more control around those situations as well. Don't let him just free roam without your guidance, because that's when accidents happen as well. So go ahead and keep a leash on the dog, let it drag him around the house. And if the dog gets nervous, then you can grab the leash and make the dog lay down by your side, and you guys go on your merry way. But allow people to ignore the dog for the first 10 minutes, or put the dog up for the first 10 minutes. And then when everything's settled, then maybe bring the dog out. But don't let your dog just do what it wants, and don't let the people do what they want, and the kids, because that's when accidents happen.
All right. Thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another. Okie dokie, you guys.
I think we have.
Let me make sure I check my Instagram. Make sure we don't have any questions. Doesn't look like it.
All right, well, if you guys don't have any further questions,
I'm gonna go eat because I'm hungry. I got some ribs on the smoker and I want to eat. But
here's the last thing I'll say. If you are a trainer out there, and I know there's maybe some trainers that come out and watch me, I challenge any trainer, if they have a problem with how I train, give me a call. Again, let's learn together. You know what I'm saying? This is about the dogs and not about our egos or anything like that. Clearly, I will be humbled if you have a better way of doing things that I do on a daily basis every single day. I'm looking to learn. I'm willing to learn. I'm actually planning on going to the International Association of Canine Professionals Dog Conference in September. I'm trying to see if I can pull it off. I've got a lot of things in August, and I've actually got a couple things in September. But if any of you guys are watching who are going, I'll see you there. Can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to chop it up with you. Yeah, this is the ego-free zone here. So feel free to reach out if you have any, any criticism or anything like that. I will take criticism very well. I won't take it very well if it's coming from an uneducated trainer. All right. With that being said, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.
we'll see you next time.